Well, for more on the president's speech yesterday and the support by Congress for these airstrikes in Syria, I want to bring in Democratic Senator Tom Carper of Delaware, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee of Homeland Security and also Governmental Affairs. And he served, by the way, as a naval flight officer in the Vietnam War. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Did you support the president's much sharper, much harder line against terrorism yesterday?
You bet I do. I think it was Bill Clinton who used to say, better to be strong and wrong than weak but right. In this case, the president has an opportunity to be strong and right, and I think that's the path that we have taken. I'm very much encouraged.
However, of course, there are others who say it's come a little bit too late. That he had not defined his foreign policy clear enough until now. Is that going to hurt the president, Senator?
Yeah. As Harry Truman once said, the only thing that's new in the world is a history we forgot or never learned. If you go back to the invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein, we didn't like the next day march in there and attack the forces of Iraq and Saddam Hussein. We put together an international coalition. We went to the United Nations for their blessing. We sought to convince the Iraqis to withdraw without further ado. They didn't. And after a month or so, we just put it all together, and we were ready to go after the bad guys, push them all the way back to Baghdad with minimal loss to us. And what we're doing here is assembling a same kind of armada. We're beginning to practice. This is a little bit like football. It's not a sport, but it's a little like football. We're working with, in the airstrikes, we're working with the Saudis. We're working with the folks from UAE. We're working with ground troops, Iraqi ground troops. We're working with Kurdish ground troops. It's a little bit like going into the regular season of NFL and not having an exhibition game. So we're getting together. We're pulling the coalition together. We're not practicing. We're playing. This is regular season, and it's dangerous and it's difficult.
Well, it's an apt analogy, Senator. I mean, you heard the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, over the weekend saying that, she's gathered more than 40 allies in the airstrikes against Syria and Islamic in Syria against Islamic State. Do you believe, Senator, though, that we are going to be able to take care of this with limited airstrikes, and in fact, we are not going to have to go in there with ground troops? And if we do, does the president need to go to Congress?
We have 1,000 or so troops that are on the ground in Iraq. They are providing, they're serving, not just defending our embassies and consulates, but they're also providing training, providing support, intelligence, if you will, for the Iraqis, for the Kurds. That's an appropriate role for us at this time. There are plenty of Iraqi troops. We've equipped them. We've helped train them. There are plenty of Kurdish troops. We've equipped them. We're equipping them, and we're doing more in training them. There are jobs for us to do. I think it's appropriate for us to do that. And a lot of what we can do right now is from the air. And there are others who can carry the fight on the ground. And I hope that they'll be prepared to do that. And I'm encouraged that they are.
And Senator, just pivoting to a domestic issue that you have been, that has been on your radar and you've been pushing through Congress. It's hard to see, with the Congress so distracted by so many other issues, how they can focus on this. But I know you've been trying to overhaul the postal system. You've been trying to get through this bill in Congress. Now you've got these private players, FedEx, UPS, all competing for the business of companies like Amazon or Walmart or others. How do you see your bill being able at all to have any chance to pass through Congress?
Well, it's a bipartisan bill. Dr. Tom Coburn, Senator Tom Coburn from Oklahoma, and I wrote it together with input from a lot of different folks last year. Introduced. It's been reported out of committee with a strong bipartisan vote. It's waiting for action by the full Senate. One of the things that Postal Service has needed to do in recent years is to right-size the enterprise. They no longer, given the internet, they no longer carry the kind of first-class mail, for example, that they used to. What they've done is reduce by roughly half the number of full-time employees. They reduced by roughly half the number of their mail processing centers. They've transformed a lot of the rural post offices, not the eight-hour-a-day post offices, but something less than that. Our role in the Congress is to make sure that we pass a law, and I think our bill does this, that actually enables the Postal Service to get full value out of a totally unique 200-year-old distribution network, so they can make money doing it.
Senator, is it headed for bankruptcy?
Not if we do. Not if we are smart about it. We have legislation that enable to make money. We capitalize the Postal Service and end up with billions of dollars in the bank. We pay the money they owe to the federal government. If we'll just do it, and you know the old Nike saying, "Just do it." We need to just do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Tom Carper of Delaware. And staying on this theme.